Hey friends, welcome back to the Aligned Lifestylist podcast. I'm Corey and welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not new. I am so excited about what we're going to talk about today because it is it's not the new, the full moon, the strawberry moon is tonight. And I've been over the last year so really delving into my astrology, and it goes so hand in hand with what I do with human design that when I find answers, I'd love to share them because if you followed me for a while, you know that my journey in this business that I have has always been about physical health. It started in a place of physical health. And as that's evolved, I've learned that people actually need to really find balance between their physical, emotional, spiritual, and soul health. And so that's where it took me into human design. So if you're new, you will talk a lot about human design on here, which is super fun. Like if you can start to learn about your human design and then learn how to follow it, it's really just deconditioning yourself from all the programming that you were brought up with. And it's just, if you really can begin to trust it, it will be life changing for you. And so as I've evolved myself, and one of the parts of my human design is to share with you what I've learned because it helps you find solutions. And my incarnation cross in human design is the left angle cross of prevention, meaning I am here to show you how what you're doing in your life is causing a problem and help you prevent that from getting worse or from happening in the first place. And so that's why I love to share things that I discover because oftentimes by sharing with you what I discover, I'm able to help you discover on your own just innately without just by hearing it because it's creating awareness. And so I have some notes because I've got some specific journal prompts for you today. I always want to leave you with something to take action on. Um, and I just want you to sit back, relax. If you're listening to the audio, come back and I'll put the questions in the show notes so that you can go back and find those when you're ready to journal about them. But I want this to just, if this is evolving to a place that I've kind of really always dreamed of just having it be a comfy, cozy place where you have your drink and your whatever your favorite beverage is and your little treat, and you can just sit and this is girlfriend time, okay? But it's also serious girlfriend time because we're going to make some changes. I'm going to be the girlfriend that says, you know what, you're totally out of your lane. You're totally this. I want to get you on track with who you're here to be so that you can be on track with your purpose. So together we are going to do that because I'm not there, but I discover new things every day and people in my life influence that. And so it's just really curating who is in your life that's going to help you experience that. So okay, so I've been thinking about this. If you've been on my journey with me for a long time, you know that my office, I've been like slowly evolving it because it's just not what I wanted. And I had this big, beautiful desk in here. If you've been in my office, you've seen it. And I loved that desk. Like I searched and searched for that desk, and it was a very nice desk. And as time evolved with my clients and I stopped being so scientific in my work and more about like relational, I realized that that desk was a barrier and it felt like I didn't want to feel like I was the authority or like you're in the principal's office or that I want my office to be a place that's really comfortable, and because I've really curated my business to where just not just anyone gets to come in my office, I want it to be a place that's safe. So I took the desk out. I temporarily put this couch in right now that I'm not super excited about because I had to put a cover on it, which I'm also not excited about. But you'll get to watch as the office evolves because there's a lot that's changing in me and in my life and in my business. And I want to inspire you to make change. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon and the energetics and how really understanding your astrology and your energetics around the full moon and all the cycles of the moon will help you understand why you feel certain ways. So and then I've got a card that I have not read from my new deck, and I think it's going to go align right with what we're talking about. I might start off with the card. But just to give you an example on the astrology, most people know their sun sign, right? We all know what our birth sign is, and that is your sun sign. So I have a sun sign that's Cancer. My moon sign is also Cancer, and my rising is Aries. And so for me, not knowing what that meant for my whole life, I've literally felt like I had two personalities. I have the fun, let's go, let's have a party, let's come to my house. And let's have a good time. And part of that's the Cancer, but a lot of that's the Aries. It's more social and action oriented. Well, because I have a double Cancer, there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of shielding my heart, and there's a lot of when you tick me off, the shell comes on, which is what is the Cancer, and the claws come out, right? And so for my whole life, I'm like, why do I sometimes love people, and sometimes I'm like, I can't do people right now. And that alone has helped me to just trust my own feelings and my own energy so much. And then when I layered human design on top of that and really understood how I operate in the world based on that, because astrology is part of your human design, but it's just a part of it. And so that has helped me. And it's like a lifelong study. It's not something that you go have an appointment with and you're like, oh, here you go. Your first appointment or your first introduction, however you find that, to human design. Mine was not an appointment. It was a text from a friend about my profile. And whatever your first encounter with human design is, if it's for you and it resonates, you'll just be like, okay, show me more, tell me more. But it's not something that you can come and have one appointment with. It's not something that you just go, oh, here you go. Even with astrology, I don't believe having somebody read your natal chart is really going to give you enough information. You need multiple appointments. And what I've noticed in the world that I work in and the world that a lot of my practitioners work in is that people come and they get a taste of it, but they don't come back. And so they never really do anything with it. And so one of the ways that I work in my business is when I work one-on-one with people, you can come and have a reading, but if you really want to work one-on-one with me, you're going to be in a series of appointments because I can't help you in the way that I truly am able to help you if we're not interacting over time, multiple times, because I can help you stay accountable. I can help you learn to decondition, to make corrections. My job is here to provide, like I said, solutions to prevent you from staying on a path that is not correct for you. So today we're going to talk a lot about that, about the energetics of the moon, the path that you're on. But let's read the card first because I'm really curious, and it may help guide me just intuitively on where to focus the most because I have a bunch of notes and some of them go together and some don't. So we'll just see how it all turns out. But the deck that I'm using is the Inner Temple Oracle book, and it's by Rebecca Campbell. And this one, it's beautiful, beautiful pictures. So it's hard to see with the glare from my light, but this one it's a lady in a beautiful gown with a crystal ball, and she's about to walk through a portal that's golden. She's in a beautiful big building. She's about to walk through a portal that's open, and it's just a magical portal. And so the name of this card is Chamber of Soul Gifts. So hopefully this resonates with you, and we'll see. So your soul came here to this world with gifts waiting patiently to be found. You'll know you found a gift through how it lit you up when you do. Time expands and heaven and earth seem to meet. There's a gentle pull, an expansive feeling, a deep resounding yes. Sometimes our gifts are clear early on, and those around us celebrate their presence in the world. Other times we may discover them eventually, but lack the confidence to trust in them. This card beckons you to be passionately daring. It urges you to cherish the things that make you come alive and that you're most passionate about. To trust the things you're silently drawn to, and not just to do what you think you should do. Okay, let me back up. And not just to do what you think you should if this goes against what's true for you. When we embrace our gifts, we light up the world without even trying. When we follow our gifts, we become more alive and more present to the life that we have, just like the flower, just like the tree. When we follow our gifts, we express our unique true nature and bless the world with our presence. What gift is patiently waiting for you to embrace it? What are you drawn to doing? Maybe it's something you're already aware of and celebrated for, or perhaps it's something that's emerging for you. This card is encouraging you on. It's giving you a supportive push to follow your secret passions and favorite pastimes and be uniquely you. So I love that because a lot of what that card says is what we're going to talk about today. And I'll incorporate those questions into the journal prompts because I want to really help you understand you are not here to be in the busy crazy. You are not here to feel overwhelmed and to be stressed out and to be just your nervous system overly activated and to have no free time and to not take care of yourself and to not do the things that you want to do. You're actually here to have an experience. You're here to experience good and bad. You're here to have interactions with people that are good and bad. You're here to have you have my belief is you have soul contracts with people that come into your life to push you certain directions. And so when you become truly aligned and understand who you are at the core, and you stop letting outside people and the external world influence you, because whatever's happening internally is presenting itself externally. So if your life is really chaotic, there's something chaotic going inside. If you're experiencing a lot of stress, the stress is coming inside. But what we've been conditioned to do is look to external sources. Now, there's lots of external sources out there that are helpful, like what I've talked about: astrology, human design, different practitioners, things that you can read, things that you can learn. But what tends to happen that a lot of us get into is we keep searching and searching and searching for someone else to give us the answer. And what is really important for you to understand is that you, your answers are in here, but it's what people say in your presence that validate those answers. So if you're trying to find truth, you've got to learn how your body responds to truth for yourself, which is your strategy and your authority and your human design. It's how you know what is correct for you, what to say yes to, what to say no to. And those two things alone will be life-changing for you when you learn those. So, um, along with the full moon tonight, I really encourage you to do some type of ritual sometime in the next couple of days because the energy's there and it's all about your intention, right? So if you can't get to it tonight, one of the things I like to do and I don't always get to is I like to build a fire on my back patio and I like to write down everything I'm letting go with and I burn it. But yesterday, 2 days ago, I was going through a bunch of old papers and I found a stack of papers that are very a negative time in my life. I actually just thought of another one that I can't quite get rid of yet because that's a whole other story. But I found this pile of papers and I was like, I don't need these anymore, but they're here in my house. So to me, that's energy. So those are going in the burn pile for my fire tonight. But if you don't do anything else before you go to bed, just write down what you're going to let go of and find a way to dispose it, whether you light it with a match and let it burn in a bowl, whether you actually build a fire, whether you shred it and get it out of your house, whatever that is, what are you letting go of? So one of the reasons I wanted to really impress upon you why it's really important to understand your sign, especially your sun, moon, and your ascending, is because when you feel a certain way, a lot of times it's because it's the way you're engaged with the astrology. So for me, the full moon it tends to make me extremely sensitive. It makes me quite emotional. It makes me really aware of where my emotions are out of whack. And I get actually extremely, what I've noticed is I get extremely vocal about what I'm not willing to deal with anymore. And so because I have a 5 in my human design, that's a heretic. And so my delivery is often very harsh. And we've talked about this before, but I have to be careful when I'm delivering my information to people that I'm not hurting feelings. Now, if you have a 5, it doesn't mean that you're carrying other people's emotions. It means you get to say your truth and people can choose to accept that or not accept it, but you don't have to worry about if they were offended because a lot of us literally live every day in our head going, did I say that wrong? Did I do that wrong? Did I offend somebody? If they're offended, that's their journal, right? That's for, as my good friend Ashley would say, that's for their journal. If I say something to you and I truly am meaning it out of good heart and good intention and you take it the wrong way, that is your perception of what I'm saying. And so if you have a 5 in your chart, stop. This is one of the big things I'm working on this year is to stop filtering what I say because when I say something that's an intuitive download, it helps the people that need to hear it. So when you understand your astrology and how you're affected by the moon, I get really tired around the full moon, the new moon. I have a lot of just exhaustion. And so what I've learned to do is plan my day to not have to be out and about or seeing clients or whatever that looks like. So that alone has really helped me understand my fatigue. And so a lot of times we think, why am I so tired all the time? Why, something must be wrong with me metabolically, or I've got some kind of sickness. It's not always that. A lot of times it's misuse of your energy or not understanding the way that you're influenced by the outside atmosphere. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to get an astrologer on here because astrology is not my specialty, but I'm super passionate about it. And just like in that card where it said, hold on, I lost my glasses. In that card where it said, embrace the gifts that light up the world without even trying. So you have gifts, and if you have your human design chart already, the red, the red column of numbers, which are your gifts, those are the ones that you're aware of, that other people are aware of. So if you constantly have people saying, oh my gosh, you're so good at organizing, or oh, you're the best decorator, or you're so good at whatever it is people tell you all the time, those are innate gifts that you have that people are recognizing in you that maybe you don't see as a true gift for yourself. And a lot of you have gifts that you've had since childhood that your conditioning has taught you to smother, to put away because it's not acceptable or it's weird or it made other people uncomfortable. And we're in a space right now in the world where it is time for all of that to come out. You're going through all the transformation, you're going through the angst and the all of the changes and all the force changes that are coming upon you right now are happening because it's time for you to be true to yourself. It's time for you to bring those gifts forward so that you can help more people because that's what we're here to do is collectively help each other grow. So I want to talk about a couple specific things um, and ask you a couple of questions that will hopefully create awareness because I believe everything that is necessary for change for you rests in what you're being aware of. And sometimes just creating awareness around something will open up the energetics so things will start coming to you. If you say, aha, I wasn't aware of that, but now I'm aware, that totally changes your frequency so that things can start coming in now because you're open to it. So I want to ask you, because we've talked a lot about nervous system, and I want to ask you, what is it that's running in the background that's ramping up your nervous system? Because a lot of us, me in general, I'll give you an example with me. I'm an empty nester. I don't have kids that I'm taking care of. Of course, I worry about my kids and I have all of that. So that's running in the background. So whatever's going on in their adult lives runs in the background of my nervous system, right? What there's old things from my past or things get triggered that stir up things that run in the background of my nervous system. A lot of what's keeping our nervous systems ramped up, we are extremely unconscious of. And so I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call, so I need to just decline it really quick. And I'm going to pause for 1 sec because I need to make sure it's not an emergency. So hold, please. This is live when I have to pause to make sure somebody's not having an emergency. Hey, sorry about that. I think that's super tacky, but whatever. Everybody's good, so that's all that matters. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is we were in the midst of talking about what's running in the background. So oftentimes this is what I run across a lot with people. So what I was getting at is that I don't have a lot to be stressed about, right? I have a business that's stressful. I got to keep the money coming in. I got to keep my schedule together. I got to do the marketing, all of that stuff. I have a couple of businesses. And so sometimes that becomes stressful. But overall, life is really fairly simple and I've designed my life to be simple. Less stuff, less just it's what feels so good to me. And it's taken a long time to evolve there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about simplicity also today. But what's running in the background, if you can become aware of that and recognize it so that you can process through it, that's going to help you calm down. Because as humans, you look at animals and they go through a situation where their life's in danger and then they move on to eating grass or whatever they do again. They don't hold on to the trauma. And for the most part, the reason behind that is that their nervous systems, they don't have the thought process that we have. So they're in danger, they escape the danger, and then they go on to living their lives. What happens to us is we hold on to it. We shove it down. We're told you got to be brave, you got to not cry, you're just going to have to deal with it, you're just going to have to get through it. And what happens is that continually builds up and continually builds up. And what that turns into is symptoms. And so when people come to me and they're sick, the first thing I completely shifted the way I'm working. And the first thing we're looking at is what are you doing in your life? What does your everyday look like? What do you do from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed? How consistent are you in that? What things are ramping up your nervous system in your daily life? And then we can start going back into, okay, what is the old that's there? And then when we incorporate your human design and maybe a scan, we can put it all together and go, okay, this is your exact unique plan. And the reason that I love it so much is it's unique to you. Human design is 100% you. No one's design is exactly like yours. So when you go to just a basic nutritionist or a basic doctor or somebody that just focuses on one thing, they're not looking uniquely to you. They're going, oh, well, this is what we do for everyone that has this symptom, or this is what we do for everyone that's trying to lose weight. Well, the reason that you're holding on to weight or the reason that you have a symptom is not entirely tied to the physiology of your body. It's tied to your past trauma. It's tied to what's going on in your life right now. It's tied to your belief systems. There's so many things that go into that. And it's why I've worked so hard to build a group of amazing practitioners because I can't help you with all of it. But what I can help you with is getting to the bottom of why you're dealing with what you're dealing with, why you're struggling, and putting together a plan and helping you understand how you're actually designed to operate instead of trying to be like everyone else. So, the first question that you're going to have for your journaling is what's running in the background that's ramping up my nervous system that may be mostly subconscious. Now, there may be some subconscious, there's stuff that won't come to you right away, but what is it that it's just eating at you in the back? Is it something old? Is it something that you need to take care of? Is it something somebody did to you? Think about what that is, okay? That's your first question for your journal. Um, And then what I want you to do, so one of the things that I just said was simplicity. So we have been evolved into a world where you have to have more, do more, be more to be successful. That is not success. Success is peace. Success is finding true peace for you. So material things we're learning, we've all learned, do not bring us happiness. They don't. It's there. You might get happy when you go shopping and buy something, and you might get happy when you find something really cool that goes in your house or that you can wear, but it doesn't bring long-term happiness. And so one of the things I'm going to challenge you to do is really start to understand what makes me happy, what causes me stress, and really start to balance out, are you doing more of what makes you happy, or are you doing more of what causes you stress? So that could be things happening in your life, people in your life, activities you're participating in, things that you do on the daily basis, things that you're not doing that you want to do on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You've got to dial in on what it is that makes you happy. And what's really sad, I think we talked about this last week, is that a lot of women really don't even know anymore. They've completely lost their identity. So I'm here to help you find that again, help you find you. Um, so simplicity, like to me, simplicity means I have evolved to this person that hates shopping. Last night I got on Amazon to start to look for some things for my office, and my attention span is just like, yeah, if I don't find it fast, then it's not meant for me right now. I'll find it. The perfect thing is going to come aligned to me because I am not wasting hours scrolling on technology. I hate it. Simplicity for me is creating a life where I get to be in nature as much as possible, where I get to engage with the people that I love to engage with, go to lunch, go to coffee, go on walks, do the things that I enjoy and engage with the people that really resonate with me, are reciprocal with me. That's a whole other episode I want to do is about friendship and being a friend and how to find true friends and how to know if your friends are your true friends. There's just so many things that we're doing in our life that are stealing our energy. And if you're a generator or a manifesting generator and you have that sacral life force energy, people subconsciously want to steal that from you. And so you have a lot of people, there's a lot of us that are really magnetic, and you'll get a lot of people that want to be your friend, which is great. Like it's awesome. I love that I have a great base of friends, but what it did to me like as a child, we want to have friends. And so we're willing to accept everyone as a friend, right? Because we just want to be loved and accepted. As we evolve and as we age, we start to realize who's in my life because they're taking that energy from me. And what's interesting is I read this morning, even the full moon this for today, that a lot of those people are going to come back into your life right now. So if you've got old people, again, I'm not the expert on that, but I'm like already seeing that. Like people who disappeared for a while are now coming back and being like, oh, I want to be part of what you're doing. So you have to get really good at using your strategy and authority to say, is this a correct match for me? Because if it's not a correct match for you, it doesn't mean you have to be mean and that you don't want to be friendly. It means it's not a correct match for them. So if you engage in a relationship with anyone on any level and it's not correct for you, it is not correct for them. So you have to remember that making hard decisions actually helps that other person and is probably some type of a soul contract you have with them. So now is the time to sort out what belongs and what doesn't belong in your life. So simplifying. Another big thing I've simplified. It's so funny. This morning I was looking in the mirror and I was looking at my hair because I haven't bleached my hair for a long time and I miss it, but I don't because I hate appointments. And so I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, should I just go get my hair redone? And if you're watching the video, like my ends are bleached, but you can see how dark my roots are. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, let's weigh that out because do I want to bleach it because it makes me feel good because of the way I look and I'm not feeling like it looks really great? That's a yes. When it's super platinum blonde, I totally feel like myself. I also have the risk of is it going to affect my health? And do I want the appointment? And so it's like all these things. And so when my point in all of this is I want you to think of your life. And if your life is busy and chaotic and you have 50,000 appointments for your physical upkeep so that you look good in the world to everybody, or you're trying to be like everybody else because the in thing is this, you've got to decide if that's for you. Like when the whole big lash boom came out, I was like, absolutely not, because I am not having an appointment that I have to commit to every 2 weeks. I stopped getting my nails done for a couple of reasons. One was health. One was when I'm doing landscaping in the summertime, I just don't want to destroy them. But I see pictures with those nails and I literally miss them. And so that says to me, okay, that is an appointment I can commit to at some point. Right now, not ready to do it yet, but I may go back to that. So I want you to start really thinking about why you're doing the things that you're doing because a lot of you are really ramped up in your nervous system because you have so much going on, so much on your schedule. And if you are doing things to your body to make you feel good, like you just love it and it makes you feel happy, great. Do all the things. If you're doing it because of you want people on the outside to perceive you a certain way, in my opinion, you're covering up your true gifts. You're not allowing people to see the true inside of yourself. And when you get so focused on the outside, the inside becomes more and more smothered. And so, nothing against all the things that make us beautiful because everyone loves to feel beautiful. Like I'm looking at myself right now going, I don't feel super beautiful today, but I do in a different way because I'm just being true to me today, right? I'm not getting all dolled up and perfected for the podcast today because today I want to be comfy and I want to take it slow because my energy is just I always have really like fun energy and high energy when I'm doing the podcast because I love talking about all this stuff. But my energy for the day is just take it easy. So when I'm done recording today and once I get this all up and posted, I'm going to go to one of my favorite metaphysical, fun, woo-woo stores and I'm going to get some specific stones and some candles for my ritual tonight. And so the old me would have said, nope, that's the middle of the day. That's you need to be working. You need to be figuring out this, that, and the other. But I've learned to work in flow, and that's what feels correct for me today. And so that's what the kinds of things that I want you to learn. Okay. So start paying attention. What is going on in the background or what's going on in your life daily that is causing more stress for you that you can let go of? And even if you just have to let go of it temporarily, it doesn't have to be forever. But if you've got too much on your plate, I promise you're going to get sick. Something's going to happen to stop you because when you're out of alignment, the universe and your body are constantly trying to correct you and put you in the correct space. Because you said, This is the experience I want to have. And when you're off of that magnetic monopole path, you're going to get corrected back onto it because that's what the universe, that's what your higher power is here to do, is to say, hey, you came to have this experience and you're totally in a totally different space right now. Okay. So, um, back to the fatigue. So oftentimes your fatigue, it's a physical symptom, but it's coming from misalignment with your truth. It's coming from overdoing, overgiving, over people pleasing. And it can be coming from the cycles in the moon and in the astrology. So when you learn to understand that, you'll stop beating yourself up and you'll stop saying, I'm so lazy, or why do I not feel like doing anything, or what's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Your body has an innate operating system and it's trying to show you slow down, slow down. Okay. All right. So, um, one of the things that's really big that I'm seeing a lot right now, and I know it comes to me every time I get on social media. So some of the people that I used to follow religiously because they were, I trusted and um what's the other word? I believed and I trusted their knowledge. And I still trust their knowledge. It's not that I don't trust their knowledge, but what I'm seeing with some of these people is I'm getting on, and this comes to like physical things going on in the world, the physical stuff, all of the back and forth about our health and vaccinations and all of the things that are going on in our body and the atmosphere and all this stuff. I am like I will go down the road of the conspiracy theories with any of y'all, but what I've noticed is that a lot of practitioners are now using fear. They're trying to give you knowledge, but what it's doing is perpetuating the dark, if that makes sense. And so the dark cannot live in the light. So the goal of the dark entity, of the whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it evil, whatever you call the dark side or the darkness in the world, it cannot live in light. So the more light you have and the more light you're exuding, the more it's going to try to smother that, because it's trying to stay alive. It's trying to exist. And so your goal is to stay out of the darkness and into the light. And a lot of what happens in our mind puts us back into the darkness. And so I know you're probably all sick of me saying this, but when you expose yourself to certain things in the media, on social media, on TV, it's a subconscious way that the dark side is entering your soul and creating darkness, because it creates fear, it creates lack of belief in yourself, it creates worry about the future. None of that matters because you can't control that. All you can control is yourself, what's going on with you and in your mind, and the present moment. And it's super hard to stay there, but I will tell you from my own experience, and it's just massively shifted in the last couple of months. When you can stay present and you can get out of that fear worry state, everything just is magical and you're less stressed. Things come to you. You don't worry about all the things that you used to worry about, and you trust that everything's going to work out in your favor. It doesn't mean that hard things don't happen. I have hard things going on in my life right now. It does not mean that I have this Pollyanna life. I might want to live in a Pollyanna world and pretend like nothing's going on, but it doesn't mean, it just makes things easier to get through. So that's another challenge I want to give you, is if you are really struggling with keeping your energy high, for like high frequency happiness, if you're stuck in a lot of fear and worry, you've got to pinpoint where that's coming from. Is it old belief systems? Is it programming? Is it people in your life that are saying things to you that they think are helpful and protective that are making you spiral into fear? I'll give you an example. Um, every time I'm going to Mexico, and this has been happening for years, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be safe. Let me just preface that with, you have to check out what's going on, be aware, be safe. But every time I'm going, somebody says to me, "Oh, I don't think you should go because there's all this stuff happening in Mexico." And I used to let that worry me and send me down the rabbit hole. And now I'm just like, if my body tells me it's okay and it's safe for me to go, then I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let what someone else's experience is affect my experience. Now, they mean that out of love and protection, and that's the point I'm trying to make. You probably have friends and parents in your life that will say minor statements to you when you're about to make a change that make you step back and go, oh, maybe I shouldn't. And just remember, they're playing into the logic of your brain, which we've talked about a lot. Your body feels the truth for you before your brain even has a chance to give you an answer. So you've got to learn to feel the truth in your body so that you can stop responding with logic. You've got to respond with what the soul level truth is for you. So, um, I want you to think about what are you exposing yourself externally on a regular basis. And that means things like people. And you could even, if you want to take this to a deeper level, start listing the people that the top 10 people you hang around the most, whether it's coworkers, your spouse, your friends, your kids. Go list those top 10 people, and then I want you to list how they influence you. Is it positive? Is it negative? Do they cause you stress? Do they bring you into a higher space? Because some of those people are in your life and you're not going to get rid of them. And we aren't here to just get rid of everybody because they don't do what we want them to do or they make us feel a certain way. That's part of the healing, is accepting them for who they are so that you can go on and be who you are. And I think that's all that we all want. It should just be like, you know what? I'm just trying to be me. Please accept me for who I am. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to align perfectly. But take that list of 10 people, and that's a really quick way to start to figure out where some of that unawareness in your ongoing nervous system stress is happening. So list externally people that are affecting you, that you expose yourself to frequently. Chemicals, chemicals in the environment that we can't control. If you can control a lot of it by changing the way you take care of your body. Your body is built to alchemize to everything that's going on. So it doesn't mean you're going to alchemize it and now you can go back to eating crappy or not exercising. It means do the things that your body needs so it can stay alchemized to all the changes that are happening in the world. Stop it giving yourself things that it doesn't need. You don't need to go cold turkey and like go buy all new skincare or go buy all new laundry products. But as you run out of those things, get them out of out of your home, get them out of your system and out of your body. And you'll never be perfect. I'm not perfect. And to be honest with you, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I just want to eat that today. But you have to have some sort of balance. You can't keep putting chemicals and garbage into your food. Food carries energy as well. Healthy food carries good energy. Processed packaged food does not have good energy. So again, when we talk about frequency, what you are, what you eat. So what you put in your body is not only just coming out physically, but it's coming out in every other way. So really start to make changes. They don't have to be huge all-in changes. Just start being conscious and aware of the food that you're putting into your body. Are you making impulsive decisions because you're always in a hurry? That's another thing, that when you eliminate things that don't need to be in your life, you have more time to do the things like create better eating habits. Okay. Entertainment. What are you doing for entertainment? One of the things that's been really interesting in my involvement is there's things that I would rather do that you wouldn't consider entertainment. Like I just ordered 2 decks of tarot cards, and this weekend that was like that's what I wanted to do more than anything else, is just go look through those decks of cards and learn more about those. And so to me, that's entertainment, and they're positive. They're giving me something positive. That's another way, like oracle cards, I can connect to my spirit angels and I can get answers. So what are you doing for entertainment that is sucking the energy out of you? What is giving you energy? The giving energy things for me are being out in nature, going on hikes, going out on our four-wheeler, going out with our friends to explore trails that we've never been on, in it, just being in the beauty and naturalness of nature. That's my entertainment. So what if you're overindulging in Netflix? No, there's a time and a place for that. I sat and watched a whole series a couple weeks ago with it. I mean, I spread it out over a couple of weeks, but I just wanted to, no, it wasn't a series. It was a movie. It took me 3 days to watch it because I just don't watch TV alone very often. And the new Devil Wears Prada is out, and I wanted to watch the old one again so I'd remember it so that I could watch the new one. And I rarely watch TV. I watch TV, but it's mostly more educational or like documentary type stuff. I have to really, really want to watch it. And so it took me 3 days to watch it, but it was just so fun to just be like, I'm just going to get in my bed with a blanket and watch this movie. And it helped me unwind. So I'm not saying don't ever watch TV or that Netflix is the worst, but I will tell you that a lot of the programming and the negativity that you're feeling is coming through what you're watching and what you're listening to. So be really aware of that. Um, it- um, Externally, going back to people, who are you feeling like you need to people please to be accepted and loved? You know, one of the things I want to just really, as you're going through your own evolution of who you truly are, there's going to be people that really stick with you that are like your ride or die people, and there's going to be people that are just kind of neutral people, and there's going to be people that exit, right? And so what I've noticed for me is a lot of times when I'm sharing my truth, my conditioning tells me that I'm being a bitch. Like, but really, I'm not trying to come across that way. Again, that goes back to that heretic, the way I deliver things. But when you're being true to yourself, you're not being a bitch. You're just being true to you, right? So again, back to perception and projection, however that person takes that, if they know your true soul and know your intentions, and they've seen you be a good friend or a good person or a good coworker or whatever that is, good partner, if they take something that you say as mean or bitchy, that's again their perception. So when we share our truth, we're just saying, this is where I'm at today, and I don't choose to participate in that or do that. You can, and I'm not going to judge you for that, and that's all you, but I'm not doing that anymore. Or that doesn't feel comfortable for me, or that doesn't align with where I'm going in my future. And so that goes back to the people pleasing. It's like me as a Cancer and the 5-1 in me, well, not the one, but the 5 really makes me in the open solar plexus also makes me all my whole life felt like I've needed to manage everybody's emotions and like worry about what everyone thinks and are they going to be mad and did I say the wrong thing? And sometimes I'm really vocal about that I'm sick and tired of being that way because that is truth. That is totally true. But I'm slowly learning I don't have to do that. And the people that want to be in my life that can just understand, I'm just going to be me, you be you. We don't have to agree on everything, but this is how I'm going to do my life. It just makes everything so much easier instead of trying to manage everyone's emotions and trying to people please and take care of outcomes and make sure things go correctly. So, anyways, the other thing would be, um, where are you trying to use the external world to feel accepted? Where are you looking for love in all the wrong places? So really pay attention to that. What are you doing? What actions are you making? What are you taking that go against your energetics because you just want to be loved and accepted? This is one of the things I hate about public school is that we were literally conditioned it, probably mostly unintentionally, but I think there is some intention behind some of this when it comes to grades and things. But when you look at cliques and things in school, we're literally bred to be like, I want to be part of that group. I need to be loved and accepted by these people. And for many people, that was chased and it's still happening. If people don't accept you for who you are, they're not your people. And so really, where are you trying to find love and acceptance where it's conditional, where it's only going to be given to you if you act a certain way, do a certain thing? Those are all the external things. Now, I want you to look at what you're exposing yourself to internally, your low self-worth. Many of us, your heart center, your will center, and your human design, the majority of us have that open or undefined, meaning we struggle with worth. And then all the conditioning and all the worldly stuff just intensifies all of that. So, really working on your self worth is going to be a big thing going forward. Worrying about the future. You don't get to see the bigger picture. Your higher power knows the bigger picture. So when you worry about the future and you don't really know the outcome, you're worrying twice because if it happens, if the negative thing you're worrying about happens, you already worried about it once and now it's just gonna be more intense. So when you can learn to live in the present and stop future tripping about what if, you can dream about the future, have goals for the future, have things that you're trying to align with and that you want to have, but stop worrying about it because you have control on the decisions you make, which again goes back to your strategy and authority. If you make correct decisions, you're going to avoid a lot of the things that you're worrying about. The next thing is being stuck in the past. A lot of us get stuck in the past about things that happened, things that were done to us, things that we did, mistakes that we made. I don't know if you're watching the live, my head, I don't have a fake background on, but my head's doing weird stuff. Um, so really work, and all of these things, you guys, are not going to happen overnight. I've been working on this for years, and that's why I've totally transitioned to working with people on a lot larger scale of time because it can't happen in one appointment. It's not going to happen. It's taken me years to work on this, but I feel like I've found ways to expedite it. So staying out of the past, forgiving yourself for the past, forgiving others for the past. Again, part of our experience, gone. It's affecting our nervous system still if we have not experienced the emotions around it or if we have not allowed it to purge out of our body. So that's where energy work comes in. That's where your journaling comes in. All the self work comes in, therapy sometimes, because you want to just get it. If you've got past stuff that keeps coming up, you got to get it out. You got to process it. You can't just say, oh, that's in the past. I'm going to forget it. Doesn't really work that way. We're just not designed to work that way. You've got to process it to get it out. Um, and then are you in other people's lane? Are you worried about what other people are doing? I do that a lot. I tend to be like, because of my cross of prevention, I always can see what they're doing incorrectly, and I have to be really, really careful not to interfere unless my strategy and authority tells me it's correct. And so oftentimes I'll give advice or I'll say, hey, and it's not received well because it was not correct for me to share. And oftentimes I'll give that advice and it's fully received because it was correct for me. They were ready to hear it. So where are you getting in people's lanes? Where are you trying to micromanage people? A lot of times as moms, that's with our kids, or as spouses or partners, that's with our partners. So pay attention to that. Judgment. If you are being judgmental, that will affect your energy massively. That's another thing that I've worked on for many years and it still comes up. And I have to get really aware of what comes out of my mouth. Is that coming from a place of judgment? Because I don't want to be that at a core level, but it's the programming still brings it out sometimes. But the self-judgment is the worst. And if you tend to be really self-critical, you're going to be very critical of other people. So just pay attention that if everyone's disappointing you, it's because you're feeling disappointed in yourself. So remember, whatever's happening internally is projecting out externally. Um, Self-criticism, like talking down about yourself, um, the thoughts that go on in your head all the time. You've got to learn to redirect those. And you all know I love Joe Dispenza. If you go follow him, he is really the best person to follow. Go watch his YouTube videos, listen to them every day, because he will teach you how to change that thought process. And that's the beginning step to change the trajectory of your life. Negative, so internal vocabulary, negative thought. What are you saying to yourself on a daily? What do you say when you first wake up in the morning? That is such a big thing. So important to have gratitude before you go to bed and in the morning. What are you avoiding? So that's your next question. Are you avoiding some difficult conversations? Are you avoiding a change that you know you need to make? Are you avoiding accepting yourself? Are you avoiding giving yourself care and love? Are you avoiding loving others? Like if you put a wall around your heart so you're not loving others and it's affecting you. So what is it that you are avoiding? And there's many more things than what I just listed there, but this is getting long, so I don't want to take too much longer. And then what are you consenting to that's taking away your sovereignty and depleting your energy? So anything you say yes to, anything you sign, anything you agree to, you said yes to. And going back to the energy, that is now becoming a piece of your energy. It's a tether to you. So if you said yes to something that you didn't want to do and you want to back out and you're not backing out, your body will tell you, you need to back out of this. The people pleasing, the logic, the programming conditioning side will say, you can't do that. They'll be mad. You're letting people down. You're not a good person if you do that. Please trust your body because again, the energetics and the way we play out in relationships are huge. If you committed to something that your body is now saying, don't want to do that, and you do it, you're affecting the whole energetics of that, whatever that activity or that thing is that you committed to. If you back out, you're opening up the energetics for that person or that activity to have the correct person join. So just remember, every single thing you do energetically affects everything around you. And the vice versa. Everyone around you and what they're doing affects your energy. And that's why you've got to be so choosy about who you allow into your life and who you allow to use that energy. If you're an open door, like when I first started my business for the first many years, it was I'll just take whoever I can get because I was new to business and I needed the money and I needed my business to succeed. But as that's evolved, I've realized there's a lot of people out there that want what I can give them, but they're either not ready, I'm not the right person, they don't have the commitment level yet. There's a billion different reasons. So you've got to really pay attention to what are you doing every single day that's messing up not only your energy, but maybe somebody else's because you're afraid to break a commitment or you're afraid to stay true to yourself or this could be in your job. This could be in a relationship. This could be something super minor. I'll tell you, I went to a Rotary meeting at the local Rotary several months ago, and I loved it. I loved the people. I want to be part of it. I thought it was great. I went and had a meeting with them, and the timing's just not right. And I really wanted to sign up and just be like, I'm in, let's do it. But like my gut was just like, it's just one more thing on your plate that you're going to be frustrated about because you can't do it. You can't do it at your best. And so I'm giving you that example because I want you to see that sometimes something sounds really good and feels really good, but you've got to really get with the energetics of it. I would have been wasting my money, wasting their time, and committing to something that I probably would have had to back out of. And so when you get evolved with yourself to where you really understand that, as a manifesting generator, we want to do all the things, right? So it's really easy for us to go, oh, yes, I'll do that. Oh, yes, I'll do that. Oh, yes, I'll do that. If you're an emotional generator or manifesting generator, you have to make sure you're waiting until you've thought through it. For me, mine's a sacral. So I may have that sacral yes for something, but if it's not like 100% hell yes, then it's a maybe later yes. And so when you can learn to decipher that, it'll be so helpful for you. So hopefully that was some of that, you got something out of some of that because I know it's going on and sometimes I get on a tangent, but my ultimate goal is to help you really dial in where you're out of alignment. Where are you saying yes to things you should be saying no to? Where is your energy being stolen? Where's your fatigue coming because you're not honoring your own energy? Where are you saying just people pleasing and codependent, all the things we always talk about, right? So I'm super excited to announce that I'm starting up my group coaching again, probably at the end of August, but right now I'm building a wait list. So if you are in a position where you're like, I want to dive deeper into my human design, I need some accountability, I want some community. The last coaching group I did was very small and they became really great friends. They still text and contact to each other in our group to this day. And this group will be a little bit bigger, but it's not going to be huge. But we're going to meet very consistently because I want you to be held accountable. I want you to feel like I said I'm going to do this and someone's going to call me out on it if I don't. And I want you to learn to understand your design. So if you don't have the money or whatever the ability, you don't have the ability to be in like a full-time coaching program with me, I wanted to create a way that was inexpensive for you to get a lot of those same things. So at the bottom of the show notes, you'll see a link for the wait list. If that resonates with you, it's not a commitment to be on the wait list. It's just get on the wait list. I'll probably do several little trainings that are free prior to that to kind of open you up to what it's going to be about. But if you want to have first option in the group, be sure you sign up to be on the wait list, and then I'll be in contact with you sometime in the next few weeks. Secondly, keep following along with the podcast because we're going to start having panels of practitioners where we'll just talk about a specific subject. I have one of my favorite practitioners who's also a human design specialist, and we're going to we're just going to have a conversation on human design and how it's helped us and how we've seen it help our families or people that we've worked with. That's coming up soon. So I'll still keep having practitioners on here and there, but I really want to create some really cool discussions with a group of practitioners. So stay tuned for that. But as always, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. This is one of those things like in the card we read today, the Chamber of Soul Gifts. This lights me up. I love talking about this stuff. And so when you listen and you engage and make comments or reach out and contact me privately, that just helps me. That's the feedback that helps me say, yes, you're on the right path. And so I love, love, love it. I love that you're here. Please share, please like, comment, all the things so we can get out there to more people. And then, as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you just need some help or some direction, just reach out so I can get you to the right people, or I can maybe give you just a little bit piece of advice on something that I've learned that might be helpful for you based on whatever it is you're going through. So have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for being here. Bye-bye.